You, how you feeling? How you guys doing? How was your week? Hope you had a good one. Some places it rained, some places it snowed. Where I'm from, we got a little bit of both, but that's cool. The sun comes out again. Even if the sun didn't come out where you're from, it's still a weekend. It's still time to live it up, enjoy it. Some of y'all in relationships, you know what time it is. Valentine's Day weekend, however you want to call it, it's your time. Love is in the air, love is in the air. Time to spend it together. Some of y'all single. That's cool too. You woke up. It's a blessing. Enjoy it. It's the weekend. Some of y'all are single, sneaking off with the people in relationships. That's a story for a different day. I'm not here to talk about that. Today I'm here to talk about something a little bit more mainstream. I'm here to talk about Kendrick and Drake. Well, more so not Kendrick and Drake, but more so Drake. See, recently Drake just came out with this album in collaboration with PARTYNEXTDOOR called Some Sexy Songs for You. Now, I'm not here to review that album because it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what I think or what anyone thinks or how the album is in general. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't really matter. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you might have heard about the little battle that these two had. I'm not here to pick a side. We all know what the popular consensus is. Some of us are still in denial, but that's cool. That's okay. That's okay. We all got good music at the end of the day, right? Plus, both of these gentlemen have gone on to do some pretty major things. Drake is somewhere in Australia doing his tour. And Kendrick, well, he just came off for doing the Super Bowl halftime performance. He also just did a pop-up concert in California not too long ago and released his latest solo album, GNX. Drake released a couple songs and videos for your head top as well. And recently, he just came out with his collab album with PARTYNEXTDOOR called Some Sexy Songs for You. But I'm not here to get into all of that. What I'm here to get into is why none of this even matters anymore. Because ever since the battle, there's been one big issue that we need to address. And that is the clear line in the sand of bias between these two gentlemen, created by the fans and the industry alike. Now look, I'm not here to post blame, so I won't. But I come from an era where you battled, you won or you lost, and then you moved on. But for some reason, it seems like nobody can just move on. And everybody is forced to pick a side. From people in the industry like Dr. Dre. I see dead people. 50 Cent.
They're going to be working on something together. At least that's what 50 Cent
Oh, really
said.
though?
I think it's a TV show, though.
Snoop tried to stay out of it, but not picking a side is picking a side. Hell, even Taylor Swift was forced to lean back. And the fans, oh my gosh, don't get me started on that. Like, that's another situation. Can we talk about stan culture for a second? Stan culture has gotten out of control. Out of control. They're like little toy soldiers. For whoever they champion for, whoever they champion is, they are little toy soldiers. They will do whatever for their person. So between the fans and the industry, the lines are clear and divided. You either on this side or you're on this side. And if you're on this side, you can't like anything from this side. And if you're on this side, you can't like anything from this side. At least not too much. But see, that's the problem. Because both of these gentlemen are talented individuals. But now, only words that's getting thrown around is GOAT or trash or mid or fire. And half the time, then all the time, people are not being honest with themselves. Both of these gentlemen are talented, but they are both capable of putting out content, projects, whatever you want to call it, works of art, that is not up to par. But damn if they fans say that, they can't. Damn if the industry says that, they can't. Why? Because the line is divided. The line is there. Your side is your side. And if you're on this side, you gotta like what's coming on this side. You can't come out to the public and say you don't. And if you're on this side, you gotta like what's on this side. You can't come out to the public and say you don't. And you can't come out to the public and say you like the other side. So where are we with this? We are at a point where it doesn't matter what they put out. It doesn't matter what they put out. People like us in the middle, people like myself, who I consider to be in the middle, our voices get drowned out by the stands or industry friends who are championing whoever they champion for. So even if a person comes out with a fire project, the other person and the other team is going to do everything that they can to tear it down. And if the other person comes out with a great project or a great performance, the other person and the other team is going to do whatever they can to tear it down. And the only people that get robbed are us, the consumers. Because what's going to happen is that the artist never gets a true sense of criticism. They won't know what's the real criticism and what's not. What's the real criticism and what's the hate? What's the real compliment and what's the glaze? It's all lost. It's all convoluted. I'm sure Drake and PARTYNEXTDOOR is probably going to come out with a pretty decent album. I haven't heard it. And like I said, I don't need to hear it. Because no matter what, his camp is going to say it's the greatest thing ever. And the other camp, Kendrick's camp, is going to fart on it. So regardless of how the album actually is, I'm sure that as soon as the album drops, there will be think pieces galore of how the album is an absolute masterpiece, and think pieces of how the album is absolute mid or straight trash. Just straight love and hate and nothing but arguments in between. I'm even sure that people are either going to try to discredit the album or overthink the album to give it extra credit. You see, it's very diverse. It's one or the other. And whoever is on this side is going to believe what they want to believe and find reasons to believe what they want to believe. And whoever's on this side is going to believe what they want to believe and find reasons to believe what they want to believe. And this issue extends beyond these two gentlemen. Kanye did some things recently. A lot of people would consider it problematic. But to his fans, he's a god. And to his friends and industry associates, he's just misunderstood. In fact, this type of behavior extends beyond music, even spilling over to politics. But I won't get off on that tangent. We all know where I'm going with this. Whatever your side is your side. You're going to defend it. It's called selection bias. And honestly, it's gotten out of control. Because what's right and what's wrong? What's good and what's bad? I know it's all subjective, but now the lines is so deep. It just seems to run parallel to what's true and what's false. And when it runs so parallel, well, that's when the lines get blurred. Neil deGrasse Tyson classifies this as something known as subjective facts. And the thing about subjective facts is that it's never wrong, because subjective facts are seen from the perspective of the individual. Subjective facts are based on inner perceptions, feelings, and beliefs of knowledge rather than on external evidence or events. In layman's terms, it's real because from your perspective, from your point of view, it is real. And you have evidence to back it up from where you stand. But is it real in general? The difference between subjective facts and opinions is that subjective facts is real from where you stand, whereas opinions are what you feel from where you stand. You see how similar they are but parallel? But what happens when the lines between subjective facts and opinions get blurred? And your opinion becomes your fact or your truth. What happens when your truth becomes the truth to you? And what then happens when the truth to you becomes the truth? Because you said so. This is where we have gotten. And this is why we've become so divided, so divisive. In not only music, but as people. We believe so wholeheartedly in what we feel that it became our truth, to the truth as we see it, to just plainly the truth. And those who don't believe it are liars, are detractors, are people who are trying to tear down the very thing that is true. That's a pretty dangerous rhetoric. So we argue and we argue. And in some circumstances, we even fight. And in some even extreme circumstances, we even go to war. So how do we stop this? What do we do? How do we get back to a point where it's just my opinion and we agree to disagree and we both admire something that is a general fact between us? How do we get to a point where we can respect what truly is and what truly isn't, and everything in between? How do we get to a point where we appreciate what's right in front of us instead of only acknowledging what's right for us? Well, that's for you to decide. But if you ask me, don't put yourself in a box trying to like these things because you feel like it's part of your identity. But figure out what your identity is and put these things in a box because it's what you like. Simple. Or at least it can be simple, according to Lamar. That's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys listening. I'll try to come out with these more often. If you like them, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. Let me know what you think about it. Do you like stan culture? Do you think it's like a necessary evil? Do you think it's helpful, harmful? What side are you on? What would you like to see in the future? What would you like to happen? Hell, even talk about the new PARTYNEXTDOOR Drake album. Leave it in the comments. We're here. Why not? The more that you respond to this, the more I'll know that you like it, and I'll keep making them. Till then, guys, I am Lamar, and this has been According to Lamar. Peace.